What should we expect out of the call between Russian President Vladimir Putin and American President US Joe Biden tomorrow on December 30th, 2021, amid the crisis of Russia-Ukraine conflict that has implications, very, very significant implications for the United States and NATO. I'm Rebekah Koffler, was censored but not silenced. I'm a former DIA intelligence officer and specialist on Russian doctrine and strategy. Defense Intelligence Agency is a military counterpart to the Central Intelligence Agency. We provide intelligence support to American warfighter and defense policymakers, as well as combatant commanders, four-star generals that provide options to US Commander-in-Chief whether he should or shouldn't engage in a war, and if he does decide to do so, what the options are. So, regarding the conflict, there's a phone call that's supposed to happen between Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden. A lot of people are waiting anxiously what the call is all about, because Russia has amassed a gigantic military buildup along the border of Ukraine, the former Soviet state or the Republic that became an independent country in 1991 when the USSR collapsed, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, the country that I was born and raised in and fled because of socialism. But that's for another time, the story. So, why is it a problem? It is a problem because the United States has pursued a bipartisan long-term policy to prevent Russia from emerging as a rival in Eurasia to US national security interests. And it has been doing everything to neutralize the Russian threat. We have admitted the Baltics, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia into NATO. And Putin has drawn the line on Ukraine, Georgia, and other former Soviet states. Why? Because he views them as Russia's security perimeter that Russia has relied for centuries to trade blood for distance when it had to fight foreign invaders. Back to the call. I don't expect anything significant to come out of the call because nothing significant has come out of any of these engagements with the Russians so far. Why? Because the United States and Russia are on a geopolitical collision course. We're fighting over the same territories, sphere of influence, such as Ukraine, which Russia views as part of their vital interest, and they are not part of ours. Although they are very, very strategic issues and regions. Ukraine is a strategic area to the United States. And also, it's important how we act in Ukraine because China is watching. China has had long-term interests in making sure that Taiwan is part of China and not part of a democratic world. So, if you want to know more information, check out my Opinion Piece, which is really a open source based intelligence analysis on Fox News. Rebekah Koffler, Fox News, Google it. I've penned an opinion piece, which is an analytic call regarding what will happen in Ukraine. I think President Putin is going to invade Ukraine, and he's requesting the call with President Biden to warn him to stay out of it. It has done several things, Russia that is, to signal to the US that it will take the conflict to the next rung on the so-called escalation ladder. This is why Russia has conducted several very important tests, military-related tests, an anti-satellite test, a hypersonic weapons tests, and some others, because it is signaling to the United States that it will exploit its vulnerability, which is reliance on technology for conducting warfighting operations. If you want to know more, visit RebekahKoffler.com. Read my book. I actually wrote an entire book about it. Putin's Playbook, Russia's Secret Plan to Defeat America. You'll have all your questions answered. Thank you for listening. If you like this channel, censored but not silenced, like, subscribe. By the way, the reason it's called that way is because the US government tried to sabotage the publication of my book because of all the criticisms that I had to write in my book about US lack of preparedness for conflict with Russia, and really lack of paying attention and inability to do its homework on Russia. So when you read the book, you'll know what I'm talking about. Thanks for listening. Again, this is Rebekah Koffler with Censored but Not Silent.